Dissatisfied. That is initial reaction from several lawmakers and survivors after a congressional hearing on the Maui fires in our nation's capital today. Gina Mangieri is always investigating and joins us live now from Washington, D.C. Gina?
Good evening, Bridget. You know, the stated objective of today's hearing was to figure out what role, if any, Hawaii's electric infrastructure played in this tragedy and how it could be prevented in a repeat. But at the end of the day, more questions than new answers arose after hours of testimony. The heads of HECO, the Public Utilities Commission, and the State Energy Office were sworn in to testify under oath before a House Energy and Commerce Investigative Committee. At times, the dialogue was tense, and the Congress members voiced their dismay about it.
So when you're asking why didn't we shut off the power, that is not our protocol to do that.
All right, let's stop right there.
Okay.
Going forward, are you re-examining that? Are you looking at doing the public safety power shutoff programs? Are you looking at that now? And are you re-examining your protocols because they didn't work?
We are absolutely re-examining our protocols.
One asked, is HECO committed to make internal investigation results public once complete?
Is there any reason why you wouldn't make it public? I mean, you seem to be hesitating a little bit.
I think it's just too early to speculate on what that is going to look like in the future. We're very focused on finding out what happened there to make sure that it never happens again.
I pressed HECO afterward on this. Why not release the whole thing once you have it?
I think it's still too early to even know what that form of that investigation is going to take.
You will release the full results regardless of what form it takes?
I think it is going to have to depend on what it looks like when it comes out, whether that's a written report or whether it's something that gets fed into the other investigations that are going on.
Plaintiff attorneys taking on HECO and other defendants tell me they aim to get the full reports too.
We can seek those reports through discovery and through appropriate legal channels.
So what about the PUC's role in regulation? When asked what penalties, fines, and other enforcement tools the PUC can use to keep a non-compliant utility in check, the PUC chairman told Congress,
there is a number of ways that we could make sure that the utility is accountable, is held accountable, right? And it includes everything from conditions, right, all the way up to penalties. And like I said, we use our process.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not satisfied with the answers.
I pressed the PUC afterward on this and also when they'll be investigating. What more can you do to satisfy their answers, but also your enforcement authority?
Yeah, I think we came here to try to explain, our role at the commission. We still reserve the right. We want to make sure we get all the information from the ongoing investigations, both the Attorney Generals, the Maui Fire Department.
Survivors who came from Lahaina to Washington are demanding more answers and action, like this family that survived not just August's blaze, but narrowly evacuated the 2018 fire, too.
It's really annoying to hear, honestly, that they are trying to come off like there weren't warning signs that they didn't already know, that going forward from now, they're gonna do better. Like, we lost homes in 2018, and it took our entire town burning down for them to say, okay, well, now we're gonna do better. It's ridiculous.
At least one member acknowledged the lack of specifics offered today could be in part due to yet unknowns from ongoing investigations that could go on a year or more.
I do think it would have been helpful to have the benefit of the on-the-ground findings from the authorities before pulling the attention of our witnesses away from recovery efforts to appear before us.
Looming over Washington all week, the specter of a federal shutdown, with the House unable to agree on spending bills.
A reckless government showdown, or shutdown, I should say, which we know is imminent, would slow Maui's ability to rebuild and recover.
Spending limits also on the minds of local officials when it comes to major preventive actions that come with price tags in the billions, like undergrounding utility lines.
At the end of the day, are we impacting the ratepayers greatly just for that island, right? We don't have like subsidizing of another island grid towards one. So at the end of the day,
I get it, but sometimes the cost of doing nothing turns out to be prohibitive also.
Now, this is not the end of this congressional inquiry. The panelists were told today that they would be receiving more questions from the Congress members within 10 days and that they will have 10 business days to answer those questions after receiving them. Bridget?
Gina, did HECO provide any other details on the electric infrastructure on Maui and what they do to properly maintain the poles and ensure safety?
What they did not reveal new information that we locally didn't already know up to this point. There was some, perhaps, news to the Congress people, so to speak. They talked about how they did not, at the time of this fire, have the power shutoff plan, for example. They explained that their line maintenance at this time is obliged only to trim the trees if they touch or are near to touching a line, but are not even able to, not that they couldn't if they wanted to, they can't legally touch someone's private property to clear brush from below, because that's not the way the regulation or the law is currently written. If anything new that came up there was HECO advocating for saying we would welcome a change like that, where we could actually trim the brush, beneath an actual power line and not be limited to just the trees. So I think some new ideas came up, but not any new facts and figures. And I think that's what frustrated the Congress people. They wanted to hear more. They wanted to hear more specifics on timeline and less, I don't know, or I'll get back to you. Bridget?
Disappointing, not only for those lawmakers, but certainly for the Maui wildfire survivors. All right, Gina Mangieri reporting from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Gina.